Inxeba, or The Wound, is the feature film debut by director John Trengrove and stars Nakhane Touré, Niza Bongile Mantsai, and an ensemble of super talented actors. In The Wound, Xholani, a lonely factory worker, travels to the rural mountains with the men of his community to initiate a group of teenage boys into manhood. The film has been stirring up a lot of controversy as it is set to the backdrop of the Xhosa initiation ceremony and procedure for young boys coming of age. This practice has long been held in secrecy as a sacred ritual, and many people within and outside of the culture have protested the film. Setting the controversy aside, we're here to look at how the film holds up as a piece of art. We're diving in for a spoiler-free review of Inxeba right now, but don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more movie reviews and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Each shot in this film is crisp and shows the majestic Eastern Cape countryside in all of its glory. Trengrove, or perhaps cinematographer Paul Osger, often opts for handheld shots over static ones, which sometimes works to illustrate the intimacy of the story but can be distracting at times. The sound in the film is beautifully done, mixing the silence of the countryside with the conversation and quiet between the characters to create a story that carries a heavy atmosphere. The film focuses on three characters primarily. Xholani is the protagonist who is a lonely man, fighting against his true identity in fears that he'd be detested by his family and community. Via, his lover, is another caregiver who has adopted a super masculine and aggressive identity to avoid being ostracized by the community and especially the men in his community. Kwanda is an initiate from the city who doesn't fit in well with the rural backdrop of the initiation. His family is well off, and while he appears to be more accepting of his own true identity, we see how this comes into conflict with the traditional values of the leaders and instructors at the initiation camp.
iPhone.
What the film does well is display how these three men with different approaches to a similar situation react differently as a result of what plays out as the story unfolds. This is all due to the exceptional writing by Malusi Bengu and Thando Ngolozana. The Wound tackles the theme of masculine identity and the struggle between traditional and modern ideas around it. But it also looks at the ancient practice of non-surgical circumcision without really offering a complete commentary on this. This really is Xholani's story, but I found Kwanda to be a more fascinating character and would have loved to have seen more of it from his perspective. At its core, The Wound is a story of forbidden love. We've seen similar stories play out in various settings, but this film is unique because of its setting in the traditional initiation process. The Wound is a captivating story, with important subtext that challenges traditional ideologies around identity, as well as the safety of the practices in the initiation process in more ways than one. It is well written, fairly decently shot, and overall it's a bold story being told in a fearless way. The Wound is back in South African cinemas right now, and you should probably see it. This one gets a 7.5 out of 10 from us.